Guys, I just cut the intro midway because I just realized I'm late. I've been late. How late am I? I'm 11 minutes late to my own stream, but I have a very valid reason. Let me put my camera up firstly. I don't want you lot to be able to be seeing what my room looks like. Big up to everyone in the chat. You guys already know what it is. Be sure to hit the like button, guys. If you've just come through, I don't know. My camera just is bugging out. This is what I get for being late to my own stream. Honestly, guys, this is what I get for being late to my own stream. I was filming my fan view, guys. That's why I'm late. I'll be real. That's why I'm late. Blame Flex. He took long. It's not my problem. Big up to everyone in the chat. Be sure to hit the like button, guys. Be sure to subscribe. There's no subscriber count here, but I'm like 30 away from 3K, guys. I'm like 30 away from 3K. And Manchester United pick up a big win today. A lot of you guys, firstly, yeah, I'm here to start on smoke because a lot of people on my stream yesterday said they did not think we were going to win. A lot of people said they did not. I said we would win. I said I thought we'd win maybe 2-0 at the most, maybe 2-1 if we can't keep a clean sheet. I was nowhere near being right, but I was right in the instance that Manchester United did win. Now, let me start with I'm going to start with, for me, what was the biggest disgrace. The biggest disgrace. I need to grab the picture. I need to grab the picture and put it up. I need to grab the picture and put it up because the standard of refereeing in English football is a joke. It's a joke. The standard of refereeing in English football is a joke. If this kind of stuff goes to VAR for review and they say, yep, check done. If they say check done and things like this just go under the radar, that is ridiculous. That is ridiculous. And I'm not even going to sit here because I know everybody's saying the same thing. If that was CASEMIRO, he would have been sent off. That's what everyone is saying. Forget that. Just how can you go to VAR to look at this and say check complete? Check complete. He's fully got his whole everything, his entire hand around his throat. His entire hand around his throat. I don't care if people want to say, oh, but Bruno moans too much. Oh, Bruno does this. And oh, Bruno, I don't care. I don't care about that stuff. This is unacceptable. And this is particularly aimed at, and you know what also else is unacceptable, because seeing as we're talking about VAR, is the fact that the goal went to VAR, and it's like they were checking it for about 5 minutes because they were trying to find something. But I had to start with this because for me, this was it's disgraceful. It's disgraceful. The level of VAR officiating in English football is a joke. It's a joke. Whether it's the Premier League, whether it's whatever competition it is, FA Cup, whatever it is, the VAR room is useless at this point. Them man, I don't even know what they're getting paid for. I do not know what they are getting paid for. If something like this can happen in a game and it goes to VAR, they don't even tell the ref, you come look at it yourself. At least, yeah, if they said we cannot come to a conclusion, yeah, you come look at it yourself. It's the fact that the VAR officials themselves said, yep, check complete. Check complete. He had enough of Bruno's whining. That's not a reason, though. That is not a reason. That is like, come on, guys. That Bruno whines a lot, and he did it a lot today. Oh my days. Even I was getting annoyed with him. But the fact that this went to VAR, this is just about the standards of officiating. That's it. That's it. That's all it is. I'm complaining about the standard of officiating and the inconsistencies, because you lot know, forget even if that was any Man United player, forget Casemiro, but if that was anybody, you know damn well they're getting sent off there and then. VAR will come to a conclusion. But the fact that VAR said check complete, all good, that's ridiculous. Big up to Amnor with the super chat, says scumbag win. We need to free Ahmad and Anthony as left back. This idea that Anthony needs to play left back, I just don't get it, guys. I don't understand where you lot are coming from with this idea that Anthony needs to play left back, because I'm not having that. I am not having Anthony at left back. Sorry, guys. I don't know if it's because of his defensive attributes that you lot think that he should play left back, because of obviously the way that he can get forward and all of that. The way he can get forward with his left foot, and he doesn't have to. He could just come with an overlap. I think that's the only logic I can think of you guys kind of suggesting this idea of him being at left back. Now, My biggest issue right now with Manchester United is the problem we have at left back. It's the fact that we have no out and out fullback. We have no out and out fullback available to us right now, unfortunately. Amrabat today, he was not it at left back. Very good coming central, very good in midfield. Surprise, surprise. Someone plays good when they play in their traditional position. Surprise, surprise. But at left back, it just showed us the dire situation that Manchester United are in right now when it comes to injuries. Because we are in a place right now that we're going to the Etihad on Sunday. Yeah. We will have Lindelof as an option at left back. We will have Amrabat as an option at left back. That is scary. That is, let's be real, guys. That's scary. Today, if Origi did that to the Amrabat in the first half, wallahi, guys, wallahi, I thought I went into a time capsule and I went back into the past 5 years. The way that Origi was cooking Amrabat, I thought, what is Origi doing? What is going on? This flipping bench warmer from Liverpool, super sub, whatever they want to call him. All it took was a kick and run every single time to get past him. Every time, and this is no fault to Amrabat. This is not me. He cannot play at left back just because he did it his first game. I think it was Palace. I think it was Palace in the Carabao Cup. He played left back. I think that was his first game where he played left back. Just because he did it then, don't mean he's doing it against seasoned wingers. Forget even seasoned wingers. Wingers with a tiny bit of spice. Forget even seasoned. Just a tiny bit of spice. That does not mean he's going to be able to do it. I don't think he can. And the thought of going to the Etihad and God, I don't even want to think about quarterfinal in it. I don't even want to talk about the quarterfinal because before we even get to the quarterfinal against Liverpool, we have Everton. So hopefully we have some fullback back at some point. I don't think it will be Luke Shaw and I don't think it will be Malacia, but maybe Wan-Bissaka could come back so Dalot can go left back, because I don't know if you lot saw today in the second half, there was an interval where they switched positions. Amrabat and Dalot switched. And Amrabat came out to the right-hand side, Dalot went out to the left, and Amrabat was coming in a lot more central from there. And he was just trying to dictate the play, trying to just keep the ball going, keeping the tempo going, all of that stuff. Sometimes we might need that. We might need that. Big up to everyone in the chat. Be sure to hit the like button, guys, if you've just come through. If you've got any comments, any questions, drop them in the chat. You can join the membership club. It's the pinned comment in the chat. You get your badges, you get emojis, you get your custom member content. It's a late night stream, man. You guys know what it is. Fan view done for UV as well, so you can check that out later. And I just dropped a video yesterday on buy or sell. Comment is here. I'm going to slap it on the screen right now. Go ahead and check that video out later and be sure to hit the like button because it really helps the algorithm as my channel's growing, as we get into 3K. Never thought I'd be... I thought my target was to get 1,000 subscribers when I got to 1 year of having my channel, and I could actually get to 5,000 subscribers by the time it gets to 1 year of having my channel. And it's all thanks to you lot. So be sure to hit the like button. Be sure to subscribe. Like I said, you can join the membership club. It's the pinned comment in the chat. You get your badges, you get emojis, you get your custom member content, and of course, you get to support the growth of the channel. If you want to send in super chats, you can. It supports the channel. Obviously, if you've got any questions, if you've got any comments, or you're just enjoying the content. Now, some words from our manager. Before we kind of go into a breakdown of the game. I was watching his post-match comments. He had some comments to say about Nottingham Forest. He had some comments to say about Bruno Fernandes. And he says, you saw Forest were targeting him. I don't want to say what it was, i.e. the injury, but it was a very serious injury. Social media criticize him. It is pathetic. He has very high pain threshold. It shows his leadership. I don't know if Eric Ten Hag is talking about any of us. Is he talking about any of us when he's saying social media criticize him? It is pathetic. Today I just thought he was just him, innit? Bruno is one of them guys you know how much of a player, how annoying you have to be as a player when your own fan base get frustrated with you. Like the fact that the opponents get annoyed with you, the opponent's manager gets annoyed with you, the opponent's crowd gets annoyed with you, and then your own players get annoyed with you. I don't think there's many players like that in the world. Maybe Bruno is special because there's not many players out there like that can rile up everyone for all different reasons. Today, I don't think Bruno was horrible compared to what we've seen in the last couple months. I feel like there's a lot of other performances I can pinpoint, but I don't think Bruno was the best. because again, for me, there was only two standout. I would say there was two standout performers. Sorry, let me do that before I get. I can only say there was two standout performers for me, in my honest opinion. Diogo Dalot was one of them. Raphael Varane, I feel quietly just went about his business. Just quietly went about his business today, Raphael Varane in that back line. I think Lindelof looked okay. He really tried to hold his own against Awioni. He really tried, and I respect that. But I think out of everyone today, there was just two players that I think, you know what, they were decently 7 out of 10 minimum. Everyone else was just average. Everyone else was just average. Garnacho, I think, was average. We're going to talk about Marcus Rashford because I think he was frustrated with himself. It looked like he was getting annoyed with his teammates not trying to find him for them run-ins behind. And he's not playing back to goal because when he tried to, he'd get dashed to the floor. He should have had a penalty, could have had a penalty. Even that, I was surprised because in any other place on the pitch, that is given. In any other place on the pitch, that is given. And the ref didn't even want to look at that. The ref didn't even want to go and look at that. I felt like it could have been a penalty. Should it have been a penalty? I don't know, but it could have. It could have, depending on if the ref had looked at it. Because like I said, anywhere else on the pitch, that would usually be given. I think Bruno Fernandes, to me, today he wasn't the worst, but he wasn't the best. I don't know what you call that. I don't know what I don't at this point. I don't know what you call performances like that. Do you just call it an average performance? I feel like at this point you just kind of call it an average performance because that's exactly what it was. There was sometimes he did some brain dead stuff, but I've come to accept that this is Bruno Fernandes. He will give you a few brain dead decisions in a game, and then he'll do that one thing that could lead to a goal. Then he'll give you a few more brain dead decisions. Then he might do one thing that could lead to a goal. Now, today, and against a team like Nottingham Forest, where they were not a complete team in terms of their final product, they would run at the fullbacks. Alanga was getting at his fullback. Origi was getting at his fullback. They would try get past their fullback, but once they got past, it was nothing. It was nothing. And United, we won't always, in my opinion, United won't always be lucky to be in that situation. United won't always be lucky to be in that situation where the other team have no final product. You can come up against a team that might just have a final product once or twice. I knew when I mentioned Lindelof, I knew it. I knew Blue Dabba was going to come. You even watched the game, Lindelof fouling, Alanga running at goal and goal-saving block in the first half. I do remember that. But why was Lindelof out of position, firstly, for that goal-saving, foul-saving? What would you call it? It was running at goal. That running at goal, and he got booked. He got sucked out of position. Lindelof got sucked out of position. Should he have even been there in the first place? No, but he did the right thing to stop a counter, to stop a break. Awioni was up against Varane. Alanga was running into space. He did the right thing. I'm not sitting here and criticizing it, but I'm just saying that is it because I said that Varane had a good game? Is that why you're saying that? Because I could say Lindelof had a good game, but I don't think it was a standout performance like Diogo Dalot. Now, if anyone can sit here and say to me Diogo Dalot did not have a standout performance, I will debate it with you. But I think Diogo Dalot had a standout performance. I think he had a much better performance of... He's been consistently good. Diogo Dalot across the season has been consistently good. And I think has the most minutes for an outfield player. I think he's got the most minutes for an outfield player. And I'm someone that's been quite critical of him. And I'm just giving Diogo Dalot his flowers. Big up to everyone in the chat, guys. Be sure to hit the like button. Some more comments from Erik ten Hag, of course. You know Erik ten Hag. He's going to Erik ten Hag. We were consistent. We lost one time in 2024. We are consistent. I don't know. Maybe if you say something so many times, you actually start to believe it. Like sometimes I tell myself, I'm going to be rich one day. I'm going to be rich one day. I'm going to be rich one day. And I'm really starting to think I might be rich one day. So maybe Erik ten Hag feels the same way. If he keeps saying that we are consistent, what are we consistently performing bad and getting results? Are we consistently scraping a win? What is it? What are we consistent with? What is it that, guys, let me know in the chat. What is it do you think Erik ten Hag thinks that we are consistent with? Like, I genuinely want to know that, because the only thing I can think about of 2024, which is what he's referencing, how we've lost one time in 2024. Who our opponents are in that period? Tottenham, we drew. Wigan, we won. Newport, we won. I mean, I'm expected to beat those two, but we just about beat Newport 4-2. Who was it after? Wolves, we beat. Villa, we beat. Yeah, Villa, we beat. West Ham, we beat. Fulham, we lost. And then today, we won. This idea of, oh, we've only lost once in 2024. Well, you look at the opponents we've played, we bloody well should have won every game. We should have won every game. When you're saying that we're consistent, what are we being consistent with? That's the one thing that I just don't get. Because like I said, guys, you know when you start to say something so many times, you start to really believe it yourself. And that's me. I do that. I told you, guys, I tell myself all the time, I'm going to be rich. I'm going to be rich. I'm going to have generational wealth. I'm going to create generational wealth. This is the same thing he's doing. The thing is, me, I'm being delusional. I don't know what... Oh, shit. We got the fireworks. Okay. I don't even know what I did to trigger that. But I'm being delusional, yeah? I'm being delusional. I don't know what we're calling Erik ten Hag. Because he says, and there's some parts of this that I agree with him. He says, it's not so easy when you have the whole back line and we have to shuffle and play players in different positions. I'm very proud we did it. I'm proud too, because he's actually right. We play players out of position. That bench today stank. No disrespect to academy players, because what is FA Cup about? The FA Cup is the competition of what's it called? Amazing stuff happening. Yeah. No disrespect to the academy players, but that bench was a very bad bench today. And all I could think as the game went on and it got to 80 minutes, 82 minutes, I thought, look at the bench. We got City on the weekend. This game does not look like it's going to end anytime soon. This starting 11 might well be the starting 11 that plays against City, guys. This might be the starting 11 that plays against City. And that is the scary thing. So whilst I agree with Ten Hag about the fact that we have to play players out of position, I totally agree with that, and we're doing it well. So for that reason, I'm happy with the result. But I will not be happy with the performance. Like, I can't be happy with the performance. Both things can kind of coexist at the same time. The top comment that replies to this saying, your football stinks, big man. So when Erik ten Hag says this idea about we are consistent, what are we consistent with? What are we consistent with? I think we are consistent with getting a result from bad performances. That's what we're consistent with. I'm yet to watch a game this year. If we want to talk about this season, I would say I'm yet to watch 3 games this season. And let me know, I could be wrong. You lot could disagree with me. But I'm yet to watch a game, 3 games this season. How many games we played so far this season? Nearly 40? 30 something? I'm yet to watch 3 games where we've dominated the entire game. I'm yet to see that. And that is so underwhelming, because whilst we've lost players to injury, and whilst we've lost players to especially long-term injuries, I'm yet to see a game where even with our strongest 11, we don't dominate. We had in February, thank God February is coming to an end tomorrow. Oh my God, I just realized tomorrow's a leap year. Tomorrow is a leap year, I just realized. But what I was going to say is this month, we saw the same lineup in back-to-back games, and that hadn't happened since August in the 2 opening fixtures from the beginning of the Premier League. And even in those performances, I cannot say that I've seen domination in possession where they actually convince us that we're a good team. And I think maybe that's the problem. They're consistently bad getting good results, or getting not good results. Actually, we are consistently bad getting results. Now, let's talk about Marcus Rashford. Let me find what I think. I don't know if the manager actually has said anything about Marcus Rashford. I know quite a bit of what he was saying in post game was about Bruno. That's it. How big, guys? How important? How are we that shit, Mina? I don't know. I don't know. Is this a sarcastic comment, bro, Imran? Is this a sarcastic question, like, or is this like, are you genuinely asking me how are we this bad? Casemiro played well, starting to get match sharpness again after the injury. That's exactly who I was going to talk about. Obviously, got us the goal, very important one as well. And he was bleeding from his head. Bro was bleeding from his head, by the way, when he scored that goal. This entire side of his head, I don't know if it's from the last game, but this entire side of his head was bleeding. But let's talk about Casemiro, because I feel like Casemiro, and I said this time and time again, I feel like he's been scapegoated throughout the season. For the midfield issues, you could put the most fit midfielder there that can cover every blade of grass. But if they are playing in a lone six, they will have their entire arse on show. Excuse my language. But what I'm saying is that they will look crap. They will look bad. Today, I think he took some time to kind of get into the game. But eventually he got into it. And he looked a lot more convincing in comparison to like what I felt like he started the game with. Casemiro for me has been scapegoated. I always say this. He's been scapegoated in that midfield, because you could put anyone in that midfield, they will fail if they're playing by themselves. Today, what helped a lot, I think, firstly, bro, Scott McTominay was what was Scott McTominay? Well, he's a running back. Have you ever seen in football? Yeah, have you ever seen in football? I'm referring to his position as an NFL position. He's a running back because all he does is run. That's it. I don't know where he's running to. He's on Mo Farah settings. He is on, and that's actually disrespectful to Mo Farah for me to even say that. I even got Mo Farah's book here. That's actually disrespectful to Mo Farah for me to compare what Scott McTominay does to him. But McTominay just runs. I don't know where he runs. I don't know where he's running to. Have you guys ever tried? Yeah, I've tried this once in my life. When I tried to get into running and I thought, yeah, it's time for me to be a runner, I tried to go for a run one day, guys. I didn't know where I was running to. I was just running. A black person running in the streets where I live. Yeah, that's dodgy. But I was just running. And that's what Scott McTominay does. No direction, no sat-nav, no GPS, nothing. Just head up running. Wallahi, if you give Scott McTominay enough time, he might run off the pitch. If you leave him to just run with nothing, don't say nothing, my guy will run off the pitch. He will run off the pitch. And you know what he did today? He did exactly what I said he would. And I even tweeted it. I literally tweeted saying, Amrabat is going to shift into the middle. Scott McTominay is going to run and make them darting runs into the box. And that's exactly what he did. And he should have scored. If your pointless running gets you to the edge of the box, that's fine. I'm okay with that. I'm cool with that. Keep running. Wallahi, keep running. I will support it. 100%. But when you're coming back and you're defending and you're tracking back and you don't know where you're running to, that's the problem. I think that is the problem. And you know what another problem is with Scott McTominay? His legs are too long for him. And I know this as I've seen many people in my life that have long legs that don't know how to control their legs. They just walk weird, or they take really long strides. When Scott McTominay is controlling the ball, yeah, when the ball is coming down, wallahi, his legs are too long for him. The way that he controls the ball, his legs are too long for him. And he still hasn't kind of grasped the concept of having long legs. And he's still trying to figure it out. So on the attacking end, it helps because he's gallivanting up the pitch. My guy is, wallahi, have you ever seen a camel run, guys? Have you ever seen a camel run? Camels run so fast, yeah? Even though they got a big hunchback, like they got a big hump on them, camels run fast. That's what Scott McTominay reminds me of. Because when I see him making darting runs into the box, I'm like, where did this guy get the pace from? He's looking like a camel in the Middle East. Yeah, that's just running. You know, in the Middle East they do camel races instead of horse races. They do. That is what Scott McTominay is when he's making a run into the box. And I am not against that when you're getting the chances, but finish your flipping chances. Finish them. 2 chances today on goal, header straight into the keeper's hands. And obviously, the biggest issue, and this is the thing, Amrabat was coming into the midfield a lot. And that took a lot of defensive weight off of McTominay. But what happened as a result? Lindelof or Varane had to go out to the left because Amrabat's left a heap of space because he's now in transition defending for McTominay. Because McTominay used all his energy to get to the box. You know, when camels don't run for long, guys. They don't run for long. So when they use all their energy to get to where they're going, when they need to come back, it's going to take them a bit of time. That's Scott McTominay. Scott McTominay. Man United's very own Scottish camel. Because that's the only way I can describe how he plays. Like, camels running is terrifying. Like, slow down, bro. When I first saw a camel run, I got scared. I got scared because I never knew camels ran. They don't look like animals that run to me. So the first time I ever saw a camel run, I literally went running myself. I was scared. I just saw one galloping at me. I swear to God, I saw a camel galloping at me. And I've done camel riding bare times. I've gone on camels bare times, yeah. They are scary, but they're cute at the same time. But they're still a bit scary. A little bit like it's coming to me. I just went on a whole rant about Scott McTominay, but it's the only today I was watching him thinking, what animal, and not in a disrespectful way, what animal does he remind me of? And the more I watched him today, I said, this guy's a camel. The way he runs into the box, he uses all his energy to get into the box. If we want to sit here and talk about the way people run, bro, don't make me start on Amrabat. Don't make me start on Amrabat. Because the way that Amrabat runs is actually unfair. That's actually unfair. But enough about Scott McTominay, because like I said, he should have had 2 goals today. He should have had 2 goals today. Robbed Diogo Dalot of 2 assists. Diogo Dalot, one of the passes that he put into the box was a great pass as well. And I knew that was going to be the case. As soon as I saw Kobe was on the bench, I knew McTominay was going to start, and his job was to make them kind of darting runs into the box. It was inevitable. It was literally inevitable. That was Ten Hag's other solution. That was Ten Hag's other solution. And I'm not being funny, yeah. Marcus Rashford, very difficult. Very difficult performance today for me to watch. Not because, apparently Bruno left the stadium limping. But let me just say, camels are sand horses. That is the funniest analogy, because it's actually true. That is actually true. That is the easiest way to describe them. That is literally the easiest way to describe them. But let's talk about Marcus Rashford on a more serious note, guys. On a more serious note. Let's talk about Marcus Rashford, because today, I think he looked hopeless. I genuinely looked at Marcus Rashford today. Bar the one chance he had, I don't know if you lot remember, quite later into the second half. This is before we actually got our first goal. He made a run from the left-hand side, link up 1-2 play with Bruno. Bruno played the ball back into him, and he tried to hit it first-time volley left foot. And it went so far into the crowd. It's probably somewhere on the M40 right now. That's how far it went. But he just looks hopeless. Marcus Rashford looks hopeless when he's playing in the position that he's playing. He looks hopeless, underwhelming, disappointing. Today it was like, I get it. You don't want to play up top. I understand, but Amrabat don't want to play left back. Varane doesn't want to play left-sided centre back. Like, they don't want to. McTominay clearly doesn't want to play midfield because he's galloping all over the pitch. He doesn't want to do that. I understand your weakness is playing up top, but can you try? Can you try? Shearer made a very valid point today. Shearer made a very valid point. He was like, why are you moaning? You know that chance. I'm not going to lie. I said it already earlier in the stream. I thought that should have been a pen. But the way that refereeing is set up against United, sometimes you know that's not going to be a pen. You know it. So don't complain. Every time he got out-muscled, out-strengthened, it's like he just got upset. He was complaining. He was shouting at the ref. Just get on with it. Just get on with it. That is, for me, the easier one. That is easier. I would rather you, as a player, kind of see you getting into duels, trying for 50-50s, rather than to just complain. I would much rather you do that, because we saw it today quite a few times. And what happened? Eventually, he started dropping deep. To get involved. What happens? Centre backs, they can just sit with their feet up. The centre-backs can just sit with their feet up because now they've got no one occupying their space. They've got no one to focus on. And at that point, you're playing with one less person up top. That front line today stank in terms of creating chances. Anthony hit the bar. I think it was in the first couple minutes. Garnacho. I think Garnacho needs a break, guys. I think he needs rest. I just think he needs rest. He's 18, 19, playing game in, game out. I think he just needs rest. Like, I don't know if you lot feel the same, but when I watch him, he looks tired from the first 5-10 minutes. He just looks tired. And I don't want to hear people saying Garnacho's crap, Garnacho's this, Garnacho's that. Manage his minutes. Why is Garnacho's minutes not being managed the same way that Kobbie Mainoo's minutes are being managed? That's a question that I would like a journalist to ask the manager that. I would like a journalist to ask that, because Garnacho is playing game in, game out, pretty much 90 minutes every game. He looks exhausted. This is an FA Cup game. I'm not gonna lie. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. It would have made no difference. It would have made no difference if Omari Forson played up top, because Rashford did nothing. You might as well have put Rashford on the left. At least you might get something from there. You might get a bit of effort. And you know what? I don't want to encourage that, because I don't want. It's wrong, I think, in my opinion. I think it's wrong for players to play crap when they're playing in a place that they don't want to play, because they know that the manager will just shift them back to the position that they want to play. So in the instance of Rashford, he knows that when United have no striker, because at the moment we only have Rasmus Højlund, so he knows if he plays crap, he might just get shifted to the left, and that's his preferred position already. That's already his preferred position. But players should play where when you're called upon, you do. Like, I interviewed a manager, guys, of a women's team, SK Brand. He was the previous assistant manager of Manchester United women. I interviewed him on my channel. It's probably like the second to last video that I've posted in the last couple of weeks. And he said something very interesting to me. And it's a sentiment that I always believed. He said that he nurtures his players and he creates an environment around his players to a point where his players will want to run through a brick wall for him. Like, they will do anything for him on the pitch. So even if he plays a player out position, because he works with that player on the training ground and he nurtures them and he encourages them and he gives them constructive criticism and he basically works with his players. He said, when you have a relationship like that with your players, they will run for a brick wall. I look at Rashford playing up top today. That's not someone that's willing to run for a brick wall for his manager. That's someone that looks like he's throwing his toys out of the pram because he doesn't want to play there. And I get it. You're not good at that. You're not good in that position, but I don't think it will kill you to try. And just in terms of Garnacho, it would have been nice to see Garnacho get a break, because now we're going City away on Sunday. We've got Everton the next week after that. We've got Liverpool after that. Who we got after that? After Liverpool, Sheffield United game has been postponed, obviously, because of the Liverpool game. But now we got Brentford. We got Brentford away. We got Chelsea away. Then we got Liverpool home. Oh my God. Oh my! Everybody's so focused on City on the weekend, and I understand, rightfully so. That's the next game, but no one's looking at the next 5 games that United have. No one's looking at the next 5 games that United have. We have City away, Everton at home, Liverpool at home, Brentford away, Chelsea away, Liverpool at home. Oh my days! Oh my days! At this point we have no. This backline that we have is the backline that we will be going into the next couple games with. Lindelof, Varane, Dalot, whoever's playing left back. At this point, I don't know who the hell's playing left back. I think Lindelof might start one game at left back. Maybe Amrabat might be at left back. I think the manager will alternate. But that is a scary... And I'm not saying I'm scared of Everton, but right now, Everton and United, they both need results. I was going to say we're in the same boat, but we're not really in the same boat. We're not really in the same boat in terms of the position in the table. In terms of performances, we're in the same boat. And Everton need the points. United need the points. Chelsea away. I might try to go to that, you know. I might try to go. Why would I even do that to myself? I shouldn't even do that to myself. But let me stop talking to myself. Chelsea Chelsea is a game I wouldn't be worried about, just because they are low on morale as well. They're low on morale. Like Poch and Eric. I thought Poch and Eric Ten Hag. I'm not joking, guys. I don't think at this point of the season I'll be thinking which one out of them two is going to get sacked first. I don't think that. But that the next 5 games is crazy. It's them next 5 games are scary. I don't even want to use the term crazy. I'm just gonna say scary. That's absolutely scary. It's absolutely scary, and it's not really my cup of tea. But we'll take it. Today's game, you lot can't tell me. Big up to everyone, guys. By the way, be sure to hit the like button. Ridwan says we might have to just smoke Man City. I didn't know that was an option. Ridwan's saying it like it's an option. Like, oh yeah, we might just have to smoke them. How do we even set up against City? Guys, City just beat Luton 6-2. 6-2. 6-2. We struggled against Luton. We just about walked away with a win at Luton a couple weeks ago. And Rashford has 5 goals in all competition. Haaland scored 5 goals in just 60-something minutes against Luton. 60-something minutes. Let me say that one more time. Yeah? Rashford has 5 goals in all competitions. Haaland scored 5 in just 1 game against Luton. So, where does the option of us smoking them come from? When you say we might just have to smoke them, where does that option come from? Where are we counting on? Maybe that one City loss that they have every season that shocks everyone. Everyone's like, oh my God. Like, I think it was last year they lost to Wolves. Everyone was like, oh my day. Is that us on Sunday where we could actually beat them? And everyone's going to be so shocked because it's that one loss that they have every year. Because City are guaranteed at least 1 loss in the Premier League every year. You never know who the opponent's going to be, but they're guaranteed 1 loss that shocks everyone. I'm not talking about losing to Arsenal or maybe Liverpool. No. I'm talking about a shocking result where everybody's like, oh my God, how did that team beat them at the Etihad? Are you saying that could possibly be us? That could possibly be United on this weekend? Because I'm not lying. I've gone into the last couple games kind of expecting a win or something. Like I've kind of said it. I thought we would win today. A couple weekends ago, I thought we would beat Villa. I can't say that I feel the same for City. I cannot say that I feel the same against Manchester City. It will be very interesting. Obviously, they themselves are in a title race. And United are in a position right now where, in terms of the Premier League, like FA Cup aside, in terms of the Premier League, we just need to get our results. We need to collect our points where we can. So if it means, I wouldn't be against United going to the Etihad the same way that they did to Anfield. Sit back, defend for your life, and just hit them on the counter or hit them on a break. I wouldn't be against that because everybody left the Anfield game feeling like we earned a point. So if that is the case, then Eric Ten Hag sets United up like that on the weekend, and that's the outcome, and we walk away with a 0-0 or a 1-1 or some sort of draw, I'll be like, all right, cool, I will take it. Because when it comes to them kind of games, you take the points where you can get them. When you come up against other, I will say mid-table teams and lower half teams, you have to go for the 3 points. We have to go for the 3 points. Now, how far off have Manchester United fallen? Because I'm not gonna lie, guys, I will be very honest. Not even in the lowest of the lows when we would come Jose era, Oli era, whatever. Oli actually won, I think, against City at the Etihad before. But I never ever went into a game against City, saying, "Oh yeah, I'm scared of them." I think this has only been of recent years, over the last couple years. And this is no fault to Ten Hag, by the way. Although it is kind of 6-3 last year and kind of 2-0 this season, kind of. We beat them last season, cool, at Old Trafford. But I've never gone to the Etihad and feel scared as much as I do for this weekend. Just because and this is nothing to do with the manager. This is nothing to do with the manager. This is solely because of the squad that we have, the season that we've been having in terms of performances, and the fact that we are playing our second, third strings. Like, we have the weakest of the weakest teams right now. We are struggling with injuries. And when it's up against mid-table, lower half teams, even our second, third string teams, we should be beating those teams. But when you're coming up against the big dogs, who's got their stronger teams, they got their Haalands, their KDBs, their Ruben Diaz, they got Rodri, they got Edison in goal, Kyle Walker. That's scary. Phil Foden, who's in phenomenal form this season, he's literally in goal scoring and goal creating form this season. Haaland and KDB, how one of them got 4 assists and the other one got 5 goals in one game? That is crazy. That is crazy. We have a 400 million team. No excuse. We don't have a 400 million team. We don't. Because half of them are injured. Half of them, unfortunately, are injured. Unfortunately, half of them are injured. Mason Mount, injured. Lisandro Martinez, injured. Who would really out? Rasmus Højlund, injured. The only people that are really going to start from the big payday signings that we brought is probably Onana. Onana is probably going to be the only one that starts. Maybe Anthony, maybe. After today's performance, maybe Anthony might start for the defensive work and for tracking back and supporting his fullback, because Lord knows if his Doku, Dalot is going to need it. So maybe in that instance, yes. But when we say 400 million squad, that's a saturated number because a lot of them are out injured. How long until we go from survival football till we can beat anyone? Because big games like against City, Liverpool, is just survival nowadays. We need to be a team that's feared due to top performances. I think United, unfortunately, they are quite some time away from being a team that are feared. United haven't been feared since Sir Alex Ferguson left, guys. Manchester United have not been feared since Sir Alex Ferguson left, since he retired. It's not been that. It's not been that. Every team has come to Old Trafford at some point and not feel threatened. We've had Spurs come and slap us in Old Trafford. We've had Spurs come and slap us. We've had City come and slap us. Liverpool. Who else? We've had everyone come and get a result against us. Lower half teams. Fulham, who hadn't won in how long at Old Trafford, come and get a result. So many people have come and got a result at Old Trafford, not just under Ten Hag, even under previous managers. I think the rebuild for United is going to take some time, but it's not. I don't think the rebuild is a 5-year, 6-year, 7-year project. No, it's 1 year to bring in your structure. That's this season. This right now, what they're doing and bringing in their structure, all of that, that's right now. This summer, next summer, put the building blocks in place. Your manager, your players that you want, the structure, the style you want to play, recruitment, the scouting, all of that kind of stuff. By next summer, next season. Wait, no, not next season, guys, but the season after that, I expect United to be competing. Call me bold, call me brave to say that, but they have to be competing next season. Once the manager if a new manager comes in, which I think inevitably will happen, I think a new manager will come in. When a new manager comes in, that's their season to kind of grasp everything, get used to everything, and kind of build what they kind of lay the foundations. That's what I think it is. And unfortunately, United are some time away from that. But this period right now, Ahmed Barada, Sir Jim Ratcliffe, Dan Ashworth, all those guys coming in, I'm not lying. By this summer, if a new manager comes in, they have to literally. I need to see immediate impact in the summer transfer window. Once next season starts, all of that stuff. So United, I say, are a few years away from being a feared team. But it's not far-fetched to say in the next 2 to 3 years, United should be competing. They have to be competing. Have to. Because there's no way. 2 to 3 years' time, that's nearly 15 years since Sir Alex Ferguson retired. Give or take. It's about 15 years. That's not good enough. That is nowhere near good enough. And if at 15 years' time, we ain't competing, if from 15 years onwards, from when Sir Alex retired, we're still not competing, then what? We're just going to be a top 4 team forever. We're basically like Spurs. Haaland's on 27 goals, 6 assists, and 30 appearances this season. We're not hit. Let's not ruin the mood, guys. We won today. United won. United won today. Let's focus. Let's focus, yeah, on that. Let's not talk about City on the weekend. Let's not talk about Liverpool in the quarters. No, let's not do any of that. Let's just think about the positives, which is there's a few positives I can take away from today. 100%. There's always one thing I'll say is no matter how bad United play, if they win, there's positives to take away from that. There's positives. Got a win on the road. We got a win on the road. Yeah? Like Ten Hag said, we've only lost one game in 2024, guys. I can't even say that with a straight face. We've only lost one game in 2024. Yeah? We got a win on the road into the next round. I've said this time and time again. If Erik Ten Hag does not win the FA Cup final, he has to get... If Erik Ten Hag does not get United to the FA Cup final, sack him. Because that is the only thing that he has going for him right now. And he even actually admitted it in his post-match comments today when he was talking to BBC. He said, it's nice to go through to the next round. You know, this is the only trophy that we're competing with. So no more of this whole, we're still in the Premier League. He stopped that. He stopped saying that nonsense. He said today, we're still in this trophy, and he's right. We still are, and he needs to win it. If he stands a chance of having any sort of, I'll say, clout at the end of the season to keep his job, yeah, he has to win the FA Cup. And then an argument could be had with Ineos that he should stay. I don't want him to, but an argument could be had. But I said this coming into the Forest game. I said, if we lost to Forest, he has nothing for the season, which means this is a complete failure. The season is a complete failure. I mean, the season's already a failure when you've lost 10 Premier League games. That's already a failure. I think he could be on record, depending on how the season ends, he could be on record to lose probably the most number of games post Sir Alex Ferguson. I think he might, in the Premier League, he might be on record to do that. And if that's the case, he's just breaking records. But I'll be real. Top 4 is more difficult than FA Cup. I'm going to be so honest. That's my opinion. Top 4 is way more difficult than FA Cup because top 4, you have to get your results. You have to get your wins. You get your 3 points every game. And you have to hope people drop points. Whereas FA Cup is you win, you're on to the next. Win, on to the next. Win, on. You just have to win every game in front of you. And you don't have to hope people to lose. Unless you're trying to avoid people and you want like City to get knocked out on that. All right, cool. But you just have to win every game and keep it moving into the next one. Meaning, the ball is in your court. The FA Cup, the ball is always in your court. You just have to do your business. Whereas top 4, we kind of have to worry about what Spurs are doing, what Villa are doing, if they're dropping points, capitalizing on that. We have to hope like other teams do us favors when they come up against them. And that's just long. And for that reason is why I say that I genuinely think FA Cup, Ten Hag should put all his eggs into FA Cup and winning that if he wants to have a chance of staying in the summer. I don't think he should. Appreciate the analysis, Mina, but is this manager winning the FA Cup genuinely? You know what I think, yeah? I think Ten Hag is just... He's pissed either way. I think he's pissed either way because the way that players are getting injured, it seems like players will come back from injury and just get injured again. And he cannot... Right now, United cannot afford for anyone else to get injured. If Rashford gets injured, you know, he was holding his ribs today. If Rashford gets injured, if Bruno gets injured, God forbid, if a defender gets injured, yeah, United and Ten Hag are pissed. Ten Hag is pissed if any defender gets injured, right? If Johnny Evans gets injured, if Varane gets injured, anyone gets injured, we are one injury away from seeing Casemiro at centre back. We are one injury away from seeing that. And Erik Ten Hag, especially to win the FA Cup, I think you need strong squads. But Liverpool just showed us you don't need a strong squad to win the Carabao Cup against £1 billion. And that's what happens when you're a good coach. And unfortunately, I don't think Ten Hag has really got anyone to bite into that idea yet that he's a good coach and that he has a system and a philosophy in place. Meaning, we've all accepted, as fans, we've all accepted the idea or the notion that Erik Ten Hag needs his strongest players for us to perform well. And for that reason, I don't think we can win the FA Cup, because the manager has not put me at ease to think that he can manage even with a weak squad. Like, I hope that point makes sense. If it doesn't, let me know. I'll try kind of expand on that. But my point is, the most important thing is that when you look at, for example, Klopp and what he did, they keep talking about these youngsters that he had, but Klopp is a good coach. And Liverpool fans weren't even, I have friends who are Liverpool fans, yeah? They weren't even in doubt that they would beat Chelsea, because they said Chelsea are crap. And they said that Klopp will coach these kids. And they've still got a strong backline of Van Dijk and Konate, so they can still do the business. So they had faith in their manager. But why? Because they brought into the manager's idea of his football and the way that he plays. Whereas Erik ten Hag, no one has brought into the way that he's playing this season, or the way that United's playing, because there hasn't really been any identity. It's not been sustainable. It's been just about smash and grab results, just about walking away with a victory. 1-0 here, 1-0 there, Burnley, Luton, Fulham, just about grabbing 3 points. So no one's really been able to buy into his idea and what he's selling. You know what it's like, guys? This is a stupid analogy, yeah, but it's like, imagine, I don't know if you live in the UK or if you, whatever you guys live in the world, yeah? We have this thing in shopping centers where people can have stalls outside of shops, right? In the shopping center. So sometimes you see like jewelry stalls, people selling like bracelets, necklaces. That then we have perfume stalls, in particularly attar, if you know what it is, like perfume, ouds, Arabian ouds, that kind of stuff. I'm sorry, yeah, but to have that, you have to be a good salesman. You have to be a good salesman if you work there. If you are selling Arabian oud, yeah, in Westfield, in a shopping center, you have to have the gift of the gab. You need to be able to sell your product to the people. Why? Because you've got 30 seconds or less to impress them before they walk off with their shopping bags. Yeah. The best people that have ever got my attention when I'm out shopping is the ones who got the gift of the gab, and they can sell it to me within 10, because within 10 seconds I'm not paying attention anymore. So if you can sell it to me in 10 seconds, I might come and look at your product, and I might sell, and I might buy it. So you might get a sale. Ten Hag has been standing there in Westfield for the last 7 months trying to sell this idea of football to all of us, and nobody's buying it. Nobody's buying it because it's not sustainable. He's not selling it well enough. He's got our attention. Last season is the 10-second interval. You know that little 10-second interval when you're walking past the store? That was last season. He got everyone's attention. Why? Because he won a trophy. United looked decent for half of the season. There was a change in culture. We were sold this idea of a change in culture. Marcus Rashford hitting the floor running after World Cup. That was the 10-second interval he needed to grab everyone's attention. This season is now his pitch, where he's selling the product to us. And everybody's like, I don't want to buy it. Nah, this perfume stinks. They're there, they're sniffing it like this. And I don't want to buy it. I don't want to buy it. That's basically what it is. And for that reason, I don't think Ten Hag will win the FA Cup, because he hasn't sold the idea that he can play good football with anyone that's at his disposal. He's been very specific time and time again that he needs his players. He needs the players that suit his style. Klopp didn't, and Klopp won the Carabao Cup. £1 fish guy. Hey, I forgot about that guy, man. He was sick on X Factor. Was it X Factor or Britain's Got Talent? I can't remember if it was X Factor or Britain's Got Talent that he was on. Come on, ladies, £1. That was a banger. That song was a bop. If our players cannot be coached by a Dutch manager from Ajax, what makes us think they will be coached by another manager? They can't pass the ball 5 yards for 3 passes in a row. Sell them. Guys, I did a whole video, and I'm going to link it again in the video in the chat, because I'm a disgrace. I did a whole video talking about all the players, in my opinion, buy, keep or sell. Keep or sell. We need to sell at least, I think 11 players. I think at the minimum. I think maybe there was even more on that list. You lot might not actually agree with the people that I put, but please do check it out. Be sure to hit the like button if you can, and get involved in the comments section if you like. Just let me know whether you disagree or agree, because I'm sure there's some players there. But I think inevitably a lot of players will get sold. I think a lot of players will get sold. whether or not Ten Hag stays. I think a big part of if Ten Hag stays, I think there's quite a few people's futures that are done at United, and I think Amad Diallo will be one of them. That's not me saying that he's not a good player, because you don't know, I've always got praise for Amad. I just don't think he's in the manager's plan. So I don't think it's even brave of him to waste another season next year under Eric Ten Hag if he ain't gonna play. He's got 1 year left on his contract. That year of 2020, I think it was, when United signed all these people. We signed Danny van der Beek and all of that. Amad Diallo was one of the players that we brought, 19 million. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer said he had the best raw talent that he's seen, but he just needs to be like, he needs to, someone needs to work with him on his raw talent. And now he's about to go into his final year, I think, of his contract. It's very unfortunate. But there's quite a few players, I think, if Eric Ten Hag stays, they will leave. Jadon Sancho. I think Jadon Sancho will go. I think Amad Diallo will go. There's quite, like, let's not focus on the Brunos and the Rashfords, but there's other players outside of them that will go. And it's going to be inevitable. It will be inevitable. But, excuse me, there's still a lot of the season to go. There's still not a lot, but it's about, how long? March, April, I got the hiccups. March, April, May left. 3 months left of the season. I don't know what's going to happen in the next 3 months. Bro, I can't even predict what's going to happen against City. Quickly before I wrap it up, guys, let me know your thoughts about the City game. Let me know your thoughts about the City game. We've got City on... We got City on Sunday. I can't even say it. I can't even say it because it scares me. It scares me. It scares me. But we've got City on Saturday, and I don't know what it's going to be. I honestly do not know what the result will be. If it's like a minor result, like I don't want to say like a 2-0. Like a 2-0. You know how low the standards are? Like the standards are in the mud. That's what we're saying. That's what we're saying. That, oh, if it's 2-0, I'll take it. The standards are in the mud. In the mud. If we are going out with today's lineup or something similar to it, just park the bus while I play 5 in the back. Play 5 in the back. I'll be fine with it, honestly. Johnny, put every defender we got, just slap them in the back line. Every defender we got, just slap them in the back line. Everyone. And just put them all back. Everybody just build a wall. Build a wall. Trump style. What was Trump's famous quote about build a wall? I shouldn't even say that because that's actually, he was coming from a racist. He was coming from a build the wall. He was coming from a racist perspective. Yeah. Bun Trump. Bun him. But what he said, just put a wall in front of the keeper. Put a wall in front of the keeper and let's just leave it like that. I love optimism. Adol says, why are United fans acting like cowards? We got this. Have faith. I don't think it's about acting like cowards. I don't think it's about acting like cowards. I think it's more so to do with just based on the trajectory of the season and the performances across the season. I don't think there's anything that's been convincing, that's really convinced anyone. I don't think that's being a coward. I just think it's being demoralized. I think it's fans being demoralized because we've been bad, and we've had bad performances consistently throughout the season. And there hasn't really been any standout performances across the season. Like we've played how many months of the season now? 6 months? 6 months of the season, guys. And we can fully say there hasn't really been standout games. That's sad. That's really sad. Of course, you take the positives where you can get them. You take the positives where you can get them. Today's game is a positive that I'll take. We have beaten City before whilst they've been on fire, so don't worry, we got this. I don't think it's more to do with the fact that they're on fire. I think it's more to do with the position that United are in. I don't think it's anything to do with how City are. Because you're right, we have beaten City before when they've been in a good position. You're right. That is definitely true. But I don't think United have been as bad as they were this season, that time that we beat them. I really don't think that's the case. Big up to everyone. Be sure to hit the like button, guys. Be sure to subscribe. If you ain't hit the like button since you've come into the stream, don't be a disgrace. do not be a disgrace. You guys know what it is. I'll be back tomorrow, a lunchtime stream. I think 12-ish. Well, we'll be talking about, obviously, I'm sure there's going to be stuff to talk about in the morning. You know, there's always stuff to talk about in the morning. You know, there's always stuff, to talk about Manchester United the day after a result. You know, there's always going to be something in the news in it. So we will be live tomorrow. We'll be live also Friday as well for the Manchester United Man City preview. That is going to be a good one because it's going to be myself, it's going to be Marcel, and it's going to be Hamza, Man City fan, or super fan. So he claims to be. And we're going to. Marcel, to be honest, Marcel sat here yesterday and said that he thinks we beat City on Sunday. So that is going to be a very interesting stream because I'm just going to sit there. I'm just going to let Marcel and Hamza just go at each other. That's what I'm going to let them do. But it's quarterfinals for Manchester United. A nice little date set for Liverpool at Old Trafford. I'm glad it's a home fixture in about, I think it's about 3 weeks. I think, yeah, it's 3 weeks, 16th of March. It will be a very interesting one. Can Ten Hag go all the way and even then some and get to the final and win it? I don't know. But you lot know what my motto is. One game at a time. We take on this channel here, we take one game at a time. It's as simple as that. Big up to everyone, man. You lot know what it is. If you enjoy later night streams, I know a lot of people on my channel are based in the UK. I know a lot are based in the United States and Canada and that side of the world. I know there's people in Europe and Africa as well and Far East Asia. So if you prefer later streams, let me know and I will try do late evening streams. I'm talking 10, 11 o'clock. If you lot like that, let me know in the comments below, in the chat, all of that stuff. Be sure to hit the like button, guys. Be sure to subscribe. And I will be back tomorrow with another stream. It's the road to 3K. I don't know how much I'm on, but I know I'm not that far. I know I'm not that far off, man. Big up to everyone, man. You guys know what it is. As always, it's your girl, Mina. Peace.